Hey everyone. So I went about gathering up things outside of my craft room for a Christmas junk journal. I was asked to come up with something, just from the things that we have. And I started the video. I made bubble painted papers. I did, I had wrapping paper. I did all the things. I had napkins. And I kept looking at these two Amazon packages. I love craft paper. I love packing paper. This color just speaks to me. I love the vintage, grungy, I don't know. That's just what it says to me. So I started the video, like I said, and I saw a tutorial by Thrifty Day on some really pretty little Christmas journals. She's actually the one that inspired me to do a um, December daily this year. She does one every year. But anyway, I'll link that below. I don't really know that I can because it was more than one, but she did several journals with this kind of packaging, with packing paper and whatever. So I went back to, I really wanted to use this. So that's what I'm going to do. And I found some candy cane tissue paper that I want to use. And I also found wrapping paper. And here is the wrapping paper. I have lots of pretty wrapping paper, but it's not been undone yet. And I wanted to use what was already undone. And this is what I found. So I fussy cut one of the snowman families. And I'm thinking that's probably going to be the cover of one of them. So one of them, I want this candy cane peppermint theme. And the other one, believe it or not, I was inspired by this piece of paper. I loved, this was when I was doing the wooden I was embossing wood. And this is where I painted around it. And I love that it's called parchment. It's kind of an antique white and off-white. I like the way that looks. So I have a plan that I want to make a journal with like paint splatters in this color. And I'm not sure where I'm going with it, but that's just the beginning, and I'm going to use that as my inspiration. But the first thing I'm going to do is on these mailers. I have two of them. They've been laying back here by my sewing machine for like ever. This one has packing tape that I'm sure I probably can't get off without peeling, without tearing. Look at that. I did it. Never mind. Lies. All lies. Okay, well, never mind on that. We took it off. And I mean, it did tear down a little bit. We're going to have to fix that, but that's okay. We can. I think I'm just going to run some stick glue on that for now to hold it down. I haven't made up my mind yet because I know I want to cover all these pieces with, the Amazon sign and, all these things with packing paper. And I just haven't decided, do I want to decoupage it down or just glue it and then decoupage the napkin on top. I'm not really sure how to go about it. I'm going to use stick glue and just, I don't know why. I'm going to use stick glue to put down the packing paper to cover up these spots. And I'm not sure why I'm doing this instead of using wet glue. I'm thinking I don't want the whole thing to be stiff like if it were wet glue. And I was thinking maybe if I did it this way, maybe I would preserve some of that sound and texture of the actual packing. I don't know if that makes any sense, but that's what I'm thinking in my brain. I'm just gonna glue this down with my stick glue. And I'm not doing it in any kind of fashion that looks good. I'm just rough tearing. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this even at the top, because I have a notion that the top of it I might not close that. I don't know. Sometimes I leave it open, especially with these bubble mailers, because they make a nice place to put things that if you want to store something you don't want broken. And I'm thinking at Christmas time, you know, ornaments or something like that. And I'm going to put another piece up here because I've tore it where I can kind of see the inside, the little white. I got to grab another glue stick. I'm hoping some of the things that I done, because I decoupaged some napkins to music paper and all kinds of things for the video that's not going to happen now. Kind of hoping I can use those things in this one maybe. Thinking, I don't know if I want to, you know, because that napkin is white, so some of the things are going to show underneath. If I painted or, you know, did some stamping, it would show underneath. And I'm kind of wondering if I don't want to do that. I think I might want to. Let's get out our Old Faithful here. Our script stamp and some vintage sepia. I always want to say vintage photo, but that's not what it is. Same thing, though. Now let's collage down our... See what this looks like. I should have just laid the whole thing down. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know what I'm doing here, so... I know that I want it kind of crinkly, I think. I don't think I want a full sheet. I think if I may not even cover the whole thing with this. I may just do pieces. So let's see. Let's see what we get. I didn't paint the whole thing. I just did parts of it because I don't think I want this napkin over the whole thing. I actually thought about spraying the underneath with distress inks too, where some of that would show. I forgot to do that, so I wonder about doing it now. That is gathered twigs. I wish I hadn't done that. Now, I wasn't intending to decoupage these snowmen on here. So nothing's went like I thought it was going to go yet. You should really have a better plan. Obviously don't have a good plan, because I wasn't going to paint the whole thing with this ink either, because I wanted to say, you know, have the sound and look at me. I've painted over the whole entire thing. Well, the inside's not, so maybe it'll have enough sound. All right, well, let's see what happens with this. We're going to let it dry. And while that's drying, I'm going to throw paint at the other one. So I'm going to lay this one over to the side and let it dry. Really wish I had thought that out better because I would have put some book page on there. All kinds of good stuff. Maybe I just do it to this one. Do have book page here, don't I? Always have book page. Put down some more packing paper though. And we're gonna do some packing paper and some book page. Now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and stamp it just like I did the other one. This may be as good as it gets. I don't know. I know that I should have put glue on a little differently than I did. And now I'm gonna get some of that paint and make some spots. Got some water too because I feel like I really want it to be, I don't know, I think I want it thinner than that. Look, I've got it all over myself. This can't be the right way. Ooh, I like that. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drag some of that like it's smeared. And then I'll tell you something else I'm going to do. I'm going to paint around this lid that was laying here on my desk. I'm just going to put it on there. Now, I don't think this probably looks like any Christmas journal ever. Alright, well, I don't know why I did all that, but I like it. Thinking I want to put some of this on here and put some water in it. That's not what I had planned, but it will work. I was wanting to smush it. What do you think? Think it looks like a painter's palette? Like we've been painting a room or something? Probably doesn't scream Christmas, does it? But I think we can make it look vintagey Christmas, maybe. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why I did that. But that's what I did. So I have two of them. One of them's gonna be probably, I don't know. I'm hoping that one of them turns out pretty good. Maybe both will turn out pretty good. But if I had some kind of a rustic picture to put on this, wouldn't that look good? Had some kind of a old Christmas card, or I don't know. We're gonna let it dry and we're gonna hope for the best. And like I say, I probably did all of this side for nothing, which if I did, I'm gonna just spray it with some things because it ain't gonna matter. I'll cover this side up, right? I wonder what happens if I spray that. That gathered twig on this dark just kind of looks like not a pretty color. Well, we'll see, won't we? It might just look great. We don't know. So we're either going with this side or this side. We don't know yet. We're going to play with it and see what happens. Okay, I thought I would show you what they look like when they're dry. This is the one I've done some painting on that really doesn't look anything like Christmas. This is the one that I Mod Podged the candy cane paper and fussy cut out the wrapping paper snowman family and put on here. Now, if you can see the yellow, that's what happened when I sprayed on the Distress ink. It just kind of turned yellow, and I didn't like that. So what I've started doing is taking my vintage photo and just going over it a little bit, just in spots, and rubbing it around with my finger to give it a little bit more vintage look and not so yellowy. And I like that better. And then another thing I did, think, why don't you take your brush? I don't know. I just did it this way. I don't know why. And I will take my brush. Okay. I guess because I'm not very precise and I'm worried I'm going to get it places I don't really want it. So then what I did was I found these little wooden Merry Christmas. So I painted them with this parchment white that I love. It's kind of an off-white. And I painted them. And I thought, well, I would, distress them like I had the pieces that we embossed. And I thought maybe I would put it here. I actually also pulled out some of this fluffy stuff. Like, it's so old, the bag's yellow. I don't know. I don't know where it came from or whatever. I thought about putting that some down here, putting some of this, as just a texture. But when I was painting these pieces, I thought, I'm going to lay them on here. If I get any on it, it's not going to matter. And who knows, I might like it on this. Well, it turns out I did like it. I liked how it looked. I liked the snow. But now it looks like I just ran out of paper, where I had kind of a funny piece and it was supposed to be, all, I don't know what the word is for crazy looking, but now it just looks like I ran out of paper. So I'm going to stamp something here, probably a Christmas tree. And then I'm going to do some white flecks with paint. And I think I'm going to leave this painted. I don't think I'm going to put the fluffy stuff on it, but I am going to go over it just a little bit with my ink pad to highlight some of the wrinkled areas. I just like that look. I don't know if that helped or hurt or what it did. Smooth it down a little bit. Because, here, when we get snow anymore, there's not a lot. And you still see some of the ground. So I think that's what I'm thinking that looks like. But it's pretty. I like that. So that's that one. And that's where I'm kind of heading with this one. Oh, and I got a piece of ticking. And I put some distress ink on it like this. Because it's very bright. It's showing up very bright, but it's actually a little duller than that. So I'm going to use that as for my spine to strengthen it, and because I like the looks. And I have just enough left of this ticking to put on the inside of this. I think that I'm going to I think I'm going to put the ticking on the inside as well. And I still haven't made up my mind if I'm leaving the tops open or sewing them shut. I don't yet know what's happening with that, but that's where we are with this one. The painted one, I found some of this Christmas paper, or well, it's scrapbook paper that kind of has, the whitewash feel to it. So I inked over it because it was a lot whiter and to give it kind of a dirty look, but I'm not loving it yet. I don't know if that's how I'm going with that one. I found some vintage looking tags, kind of rustic tags, and I thought maybe I would do something like this. But again, I wasn't loving that. So a long time ago, I was playing with my stamp platform. And this is just tea-dyed paper. And I stamped some things just to see if I could get this to come out. And I thought basically I had ruined this because I got I stamped so much, I just kept stamping and stamping because, you know, if it's not working, just keep on stamping. And I think I really like that for a cover. I think that I like that. But I don't want to cover up all my paint and stuff. So I'm thinking I'm going to grab out my stamp platform and see if I can't stamp that on here. See if it works. If it doesn't, we can always cover it up with something. So let's try that on this one. Sorry about the little blocks that keep hitting the floor. That's Navy Man. Maybe something like this. About right there. And then I'm going to ink this up with some VersaFine Clear just in black. It's really not coming out that well on this bag. It's not getting the crisp lines that it did on this one. So I think I'm going to just call it quits and quit messing with it, because that's not working. So we're not going this route. It kind of makes me think it's probably not going to stamp very good on this one. So maybe I shouldn't put a tree there. What do you think? Oh, let's try it anyway. If we don't like it, we can cover it up, right? Can always cover it up, I hope. Well, to be honest, it doesn't look anything like the Christmas tree, but, you know, this is all kind of looks, rustic and rugged like the rest of the picture, so I might call that good. Do we like this or no? I think I kind of do. I think I kind of do. I'm wondering about maybe just lightly doing another spot. Like maybe there's not just one tree. See, this is where I don't have quitting sense, and I'm probably going to mess it up. And I didn't paint the whole tree so that it just, has the... Yeah, I like that. I'm real happy with that. I hope you're not thinking, why are you happy with that? Because it looks terrible. I'm going to put a little bit of tree right here by this fella. Very abstract. I love it. I'm keeping it. I'm going to let that dry. And I'm going to call this one a win. I like that one. I hope you do. You ever hurt yourself with a magnet? Yeah, I just gave myself a little one of those blisters, blood blister. These two things suck together. I need to cover them with something. They suck together and pinch my skin. That's got to be a first. Okay. So we had one win and one loss. And we can always fix this one. I guess what I'm not sure of is if I want to cover up with this whole piece of paper, or, kind of tear around it. Evidently, I want to tear around it because that's what I'm doing. Sometimes my hands work before my mind has thought it all out. So I think that's the route, I guess, apparently I decided to take. this, and then also I have another idea. I think I know what I want to do. I'm going to ink around this first, but I think I know what I want to do for the fabric part, because I want some fabric on this, I think. So I have some of this word fabric. I got it at Walmart a few years back. So I'm not sure if they still have it. And it's called Love Paris, Emily Adams. And like I say, I know I got it at Walmart. I'm going to cut me a strip for the center, I think. I also think this will be the kind that I use on the inside of my book. I think I'll use some of it. And it's not very thick, so some of this might still show through. And I'm actually okay with that since I have this book page and, you know, just kind of writing on the inside that we did anyway, so that will be okay. Now, again, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, if I'm going to sew it shut, or if I decide not to sew it shut and leave these open, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this apart so that I can sew my fabric all the way around to this. And I'll do the same on the front, because I might do, you know, to sew my spine maybe. Or I might sew around this. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to do it yet. But if I decide to sew around this, again, I'm going to take this, I'm going to open it up and do all my sewing. Well, it's one big flat piece. Then I'm going to put it back together and sew on the edges and the bottom all the way around the three sides. That way it will leave this top open and all of this is still sewn on. So that's how I will do it if that's what I do, but I'm really not sure at this point. Also, I found these milk caps. I was going to look through them and see if there was anything that had red on there, because I thought that would look kind of rustic. Ooh, there's some green ones. That might not look too bad, huh? Hanging from the cover. I think those are cool. I may have to use some of those. I hate that I covered up almost all my paint. You can still kind of see it though, I guess, right? Like on the back and at the tops. And I want to go ahead and stain these. I'm not going to use it on the cover of that one, but I might use it on the cover of the snowman one. So go ahead and do some inking on it. What do you think? Okay, so I've decided on the snowman one. I want to leave the pocket open. So I've opened it up all the way. And I'm going to put down a little bit of glue stick on the inside so that it will hold my fabric long enough to get it to the sewing machine. And I can sew around it. Kind of like that looks good. And then I'm not going to put any in the spine. What I decided to do was I've cut a piece. I don't know if this was the one I cut or the other one. So I've cut a piece. And I think it makes the Merry Christmas stand out better. So I'm going to put some little brads. I'm going to glue it to this fabric with Fabri-Tac. And then I'm going to, before I close this back up, I'm going to put some little brads here. And maybe I'll just go ahead and do it right now. Well, no, I want to get sewed around my material, and then I'll come back and we'll put some brads. Wonder about sewing around this. Then put the brads. Okay, so far I have sewn around the top. I didn't sew all the 3 sides because when I match these back up, I will sew around the 3 sides, and that way it doesn't have 2 layers. I only want it to have 1 layer of sewing. Also, what I done was I sewed on this little piece. So while it was open, you can see that I've sewn it. Okay, so I'm going to leave the strings. I may not leave them that long, but... And now while I've got this open, I'm going to poke some holes to put some brads. I think before I put those in, I'm going to go ahead and glue on my word. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac. And I might just take a little brush like this and try to shade it a little bit, see what happens. Ooh, I really like that. Now I think I'll put a little red right there where the berries are. It doesn't have to be very dark because I like that the white still shows underneath, and I love that. That looks really pretty. I think it's just the special little touches that really add to something like that. So I don't think I'm going to use a punch. I think I'm just going to try to poke holes with my awl. So that's all I'm doing here, poking holes with my awl, putting in the little brads, and then I'll flip it over and open up the feet so that they don't fall out. I'll do that for all 4 corners. Okay, there's our cover. What do you think? I really, really like it. I'm going to go ahead and sew around. Actually, before that, I'm going to sew up top on this side. Then I'm going to sew around all 3 sides. Thinking about maybe putting some lace up here, some tea-dyed lace or something. Anyway, I'm going to sew and I'll be back. Oh, goodness. I'm really, really loving this one. This one's good. Okay, I hope it's showing. It's, I think showing a little brighter than it is, but that's okay. So here's the one that we decoupaged the tissue, the candy cane tissue. And look, I found this beautiful lace, this vintage lace, and I sewed it on the top. And then I sewed around all 3 sides. And now we have these wonderful pockets in the top, deep pockets that, you know, if you want to store another journal, gosh, you could put a little journal in there. Maybe we will. Be fun. So this is done. I feel good about this one. I like it. I hope you do. And like I said, I'm going to get some papers together and put in a signature. I'm not going to reinforce the spine because it has the material on the inside that's very heavy. Plus, I don't want to cover up my tree. You know, the kind of the look of the tree here. I don't think we need it on this one. I think this one's good. Now I just have to figure out what to do with this one. And I kind of think I want to wonder about putting those big brads. You know, because I've tore around it like it's burnt paper. Wouldn't those look kind of neat, I think? And then like my eyelet for the enclosure could be this color. So I think that's what I'm going to do on this one. I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to open it up. I think I want to make this one a double double pocket too. So I'm going to even up my top here. And then I'm going to open it up just like the other one. Sew around. Put the brads in. They're actually pretty easy to open. I was worried that I would tear it. But they're really not super glued together. So I said that. Now I'm going to tear this one. And the only bad thing is by putting the paper down, I'm losing all my paint. But, you know, hey, when we go a different route or change our mind or whatever, I guess that kind of stuff happens all the time, doesn't it? Of course, the words aren't going to show on this side, are they? I'm going to sample a little piece of this. And I'm going to lightly stamp around the edge and see if it shows through on this other side. And maybe that's the way we can fix it so that we don't lose the words on the other side. But it will still give, you know, kind of the feel like they're over here too. Okay, it didn't go through. So I think, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, see, I like that. So I think that I'm going to go around the edge with this script stamp, and then I'm going to put it the correct way on the inside so we don't lose all that pretty writing. What do you think? Does that look okay? Okay, so I'm going to glue down both sides again, same as I did with the other one, just with the glue stick to hold it until I get to the sewing machine. And I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and get started. Okay, what do you think? We got lots of crazy sewing, lots of strings. I think I'm going to, you know, tear this down a bit, not leave it quite so long. But I really like it. I really do. I love this fabric. It's so soft. Yes. Okay, I'm happy with both covers. Now all I have to do is gather up some papers, figure out what kind of closures I'm going to do. I'm going to trim this one down. That's way too long. But now both of them have, you know, the pockets. Oh, I was going to put brads on this one and I forgot. Well, you know, as big as these pockets are, I probably could still do it. Okay, what do you think? Think that was a good choice? I really do like those. Yeah, I'm glad we added them. Okay, I'm going to cut this down. But overall, I'm really happy with these covers. What do you think? Let me know. And then next time we will fill them up. Or actually, next time I see you, I might be doing a walkthrough that they'll be done. I don't know. What do you think? You want to see the process of putting in the signatures, or would you rather just wait until they're done and then I'll do a walkthrough of them? Tell me what you think. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you like these. I will see you next time. Bye.